Western culture has this toxic narrative that reduces all international age gap relationships to exploitation and gold digging. The woman is a victim or a con artist. The man is a predator or a fool. There is no room for nuance, no acknowledgement that different cultures have different values, different preferences, different ideas about what makes a good partner. So today, I am going to break down 7 countries where the cultural preference for older men is real, documented, and rooted in factors that go way beyond money, where women actively choose older partners because of what age represents in their culture, where the preference is genuine, not performative. And yes, these are also cheap countries where Western men with modest incomes can afford to live and date, because that economic accessibility matters. But the preference for older men exists independently of Western men showing up with dollars. Let's get into this. Starting with Georgia, the country at the crossroads of Europe and Asia. And when I say Georgian women prefer older men, I am not talking about casual preference. I am talking about deep cultural values that make older men the default desirable option. Georgian culture is traditional and patriarchal in ways that most Western people cannot even conceptualize. Men are expected to be leaders, providers, protectors. Women are expected to support, nurture, maintain the home. These roles are not negotiable or up for debate. This is just how things work. Now here is the crucial part. Georgian culture does not believe young men can fulfill the male role properly. A man in his 20s or early 30s is seen as unformed, immature, not yet capable of real leadership or provision. He might be attractive physically, but he is not yet a real man in the cultural sense. Older men, men in their 40s, 50s, even 60s, are seen as having finally matured into proper manhood. They have wisdom. They have experience. They have proven themselves. They are stable. They know who they are and what they want. Georgian women grow up hearing this from their mothers and grandmothers, that young men are for fooling around, but older men are for marriage. That age equals maturity equals desirability. This is not some fringe belief. This is mainstream Georgian cultural wisdom. The preference is also practical in ways beyond money. Older men are past the point of wild behavior. They are not staying out all night drinking with friends. They are not chasing every woman they see. They are settled, focused on family and responsibilities. Georgian women who have dated young Georgian men often have horror stories, alcoholism, irresponsibility, machismo without the provision to back it up, immaturity. When they meet an older man, Western or Georgian, who is calm, responsible, and mature, it feels like finally meeting an actual adult. The respect for elders is also genuine in Georgian culture. Old age is honored, gray hair is distinguished. Wrinkles show experience. Western culture worships youth, but Georgian culture venerates age. This is not superficial. This shapes how attraction itself works. Georgian women are not lying when they say they find older men attractive. They genuinely do, because their entire cultural conditioning has taught them that older equals better. The maturity, the stability, the confidence that comes with age, these are attractive qualities in Georgian cultural framework. Now, does money matter? Of course, older men are more likely to have resources, and resources matter in a country where average income is low. But Georgian women with family money still prefer older men. Georgian women with careers still prefer older men. The preference transcends pure economics. And here is something Western men often miss. Georgian women do not want sugar daddies. They want husbands. They want partners who will lead their families with wisdom and strength. They want men who can handle the Georgian family dynamics, which are intense and require maturity to navigate. A 25-year-old Western man might have money, but Georgian women will still prefer a 50-year-old Western man because the age and maturity matter more than marginal differences in income. This is not gold digging. This is cultural preference. At number 6, the Philippines. And the Filipino preference for older men is rooted in something specific that most people do not understand: the concept of respect and the cultural role of elders. Filipino culture is built around respect for elders. The word po is added to sentences when speaking to anyone older as a sign of respect. Children are taught from birth to defer to elders, to value their wisdom, to honor their experience. This is not performative. This is core Filipino identity. When Filipino women look at older men, they are not seeing decrepit past their prime has-beens. They are seeing people worthy of automatic respect, people who have lived, who have learned, who have wisdom to share. Age itself confers status and value. This creates genuine attraction. Filipino women feel comfortable with older men in ways they do not with younger men. There is natural deference, natural respect, natural order. With men their own age, there is competition, testing, uncertainty about roles. With older men, everyone knows where they stand. The cultural expectation is also that older men are better providers, not just financially, but in every way. Better at giving advice, better at solving problems, better at handling stress, better at protecting and caring for families. Age equals competence in Filipino cultural logic. Filipino women also value stability in ways that Western women increasingly do not. A 60-year-old man is stable. He is not going to suddenly decide to quit his job to find himself. He is not going to have a quarter-life crisis. He knows who he is. Filipino women find this incredibly attractive. The religious factor matters too. The Philippines is deeply Catholic. The church teaches respect for elders, values family, emphasizes marriage as sacred. Within this framework, marrying an older man who is established and ready for family makes perfect sense. It is more aligned with religious values than dating young men who are not ready to commit. There's also a practical nurturing element. Filipino culture values caregiving. Women are raised to take care of people. An older man who will eventually need care does not repel Filipino women the way it might repel Western women. They see it as a natural part of partnership. They will take care of him, just as he provides for and protects them now. And here is what Westerners really struggle to understand. Filipino women genuinely enjoy the company of older men. The conversations are different. Older men have stories, experiences, perspectives that younger men lack. They are more interesting to talk to. They are calmer, less dramatic, more secure in themselves. I have spoken to Filipino women who have dated both young Western men and older Western men. They consistently say they prefer the older men, not because of money, but because the interactions are better. Less games, less insecurity, less need to prove anything. Just comfortable, mature connection. The age gap that seems shocking to Westerners, 60-year-old man with 35-year-old woman, is completely normal in Filipino culture. Nobody thinks it is strange. The families approve. Society approves. It fits cultural expectations about appropriate pairings. Now, yes, economic factors matter. The Philippines is poor, but wealthy Filipino women still prefer older men. Celebrity culture in the Philippines features many age gap relationships that are celebrated, not criticized. This is cultural, not just economic. Coming in at number 5, Cambodia. And the Cambodian preference for older men is tied to something dark but important: trauma and the need for safety. Cambodia experienced genocide under the Khmer Rouge. A quarter of the population was murdered. An entire generation of educated people, professionals, anyone with skills, was wiped out. This created generational trauma that still affects Cambodian psychology today. Cambodian culture in the aftermath of genocide became obsessed with survival, with safety, with avoiding risk. Young men represent risk. They are unpredictable, potentially violent, potentially unstable. The trauma made Cambodian women hypervigilant about safety. Older men feel safer. They are past the age where aggression and violence peak. They are calmer. They are less likely to explode in rage or behave erratically. For Cambodian women whose grandmothers and mothers lived through unspeakable violence, this safety factor is enormous. There is also the Buddhist cultural framework. Buddhism teaches respect for age and wisdom. Monks are revered elders. The religion creates cultural conditioning that age equals spiritual maturity, equals worthiness of respect. Cambodian women are taught that older men have had time to develop compassion, patience, understanding, that they have moved beyond the ego-driven behavior of youth. This is seen as spiritually superior, not just practically better. The economic devastation Cambodia experienced also created a culture where provision is absolutely critical. Older men are more likely to be able to provide not just money, but stability, consistency, protection from chaos. In a country that experienced complete societal breakdown, these things matter intensely. Cambodian women also value the maturity that comes with age. In terms of family relationships, older men are more likely to embrace existing children from previous relationships. They are more likely to help support extended family. They are more likely to be patient with family obligations. Young men are seen as too selfish, too focused on themselves. There is genuine preference, not just acceptance. Cambodian women describe feeling more comfortable with older men, more able to relax, more able to trust. The age gap that Westerners find disturbing provides psychological comfort for women from traumatized culture. And here is something specific to Cambodia. The bar girl stereotype makes people assume all relationships between Western men and Cambodian women are transactional. But this ignores the huge population of Cambodian women who are not bar girls, who have regular jobs, who still prefer older foreign men. These women work in offices, in shops, in schools. They make their own money. They are not desperate. But they still choose older men when they can, because the cultural preference is real. Age represents safety, maturity, wisdom, stability. All things Cambodian culture values intensely. At number 4, Thailand. And despite Thailand's reputation, the preference for older men predates sex tourism by centuries. This is embedded in Thai culture going back to ancient times. Thai culture is hierarchical. There is a concept called Pi Nong, which literally means older younger sibling, but extends to all relationships. The older person has automatic authority and responsibility. The younger person has automatic obligation to show respect. When Thai women date older men, they are operating within this comfortable cultural framework. He is Pi. She is Nong. Everyone knows their role. There is no confusion, no negotiation, no modern ambiguity about who leads and who follows. Thai Buddhism reinforces this. Respect for elders is religious obligation. Age equals karma, equals merit, equals spiritual development. Older men are further along the spiritual path. This is not rationalization. This is genuine Buddhist belief. Thai women also value the concept of Jai Yen, which means cool heart. Young men have hot hearts. They are impulsive, emotional, reactive. Older men have had time to develop cool hearts. They are calm, measured, controlled. This is extremely attractive in Thai cultural values. The economic angle exists but is overstated. Upper-class Thai women, women with money, also often prefer older men. Look at Thai society pages. Plenty of wealthy Thai women with significantly older husbands, both Thai and foreign. This is socially acceptable, even desirable. There is also something specific about Thai feminine identity. Thai women are raised to be nurturing, to take care of people, to derive satisfaction from making others comfortable. An older man who appreciates this, who allows her to fulfill this role, is more attractive than a young man who takes it for granted or rejects it. Thai women often say that conversations with older men are better, that older men actually listen, that they value what women say, that they are not just focused on physical attraction, but on actual connection. Young men are described as immature, selfish, only interested in sex and partying. The stability factor is huge. Thailand has experienced political instability, economic ups and downs, social changes. Within this context, older men represent constancy. They have weathered storms. They are not going to panic at first difficulty. Thai women value this deeply. And here is what critics miss. Thai women have agency. They are making choices. Yes, economic factors influence those choices. But wealthy Thai women make similar choices, which proves the cultural preference is real beyond economics. The ideal Thai man, culturally, is older, established, calm, generous, protective. Young Thai men often fail to embody these qualities. Older foreign men often do. The preference is logical within Thai cultural framework. At number 3, Colombia. And Latin American culture generally has very different relationship with age and attraction than Anglo culture does. In Anglo cultures, youth is everything. In Latin cultures, youth is nice, but maturity is better. There is a word in Spanish, maduro, that does not translate well. It means mature, but with positive connotations of being at peak capability, seasoned, sophisticated. Colombian women are raised hearing that men improve with age, that young men are boys who do not know what they want, that real men emerge in their 40s and beyond. This is not fringe thinking. This is what mothers tell daughters, what telenovelas reinforce, what culture teaches. There is also the machismo problem. Young Colombian men often embody toxic aspects of machismo, controlling, jealous, possessive, but without the providing and protecting that are supposed to come with traditional male role. They want to be treated like kings while acting like children. Older men, especially foreign men, offer a different dynamic. They have grown beyond petty machismo. They are secure enough not to be jealous and controlling. They have maturity to actually treat women well. Colombian women notice this difference acutely. The cultural framework around relationships is also different. In Colombia, it is completely normal and accepted for women to prioritize security and stability when choosing partners. This is not seen as mercenary. This is seen as smart, as what women should do. Men are judged by their ability to provide. This is not controversial. Within this framework, older men are simply better options. They have had time to build resources, stability, maturity. They are at their peak as partners according to cultural values. Young men are not yet there. Older men are. Colombian women also appreciate that older men are done playing games. The dating culture among young people in Colombia is chaotic. Lots of cheating, lots of drama, lots of instability. Older men are past this. They know what they want. They are ready for commitment. Colombian women who want stability find this incredibly attractive. There is genuine appreciation for the qualities that come with age. Gray hair is sexy in Colombian culture. It shows experience. Wrinkles show character. A bit of belly is fine, even attractive, because it shows the man is eating well and comfortable with himself. The Western obsession with young bodies is not mirrored in Colombian culture, and Colombian women describe conversations with older men as simply better, more substantial, more interesting, more respectful. Young men want to talk about clubs and cars and themselves. Older men ask questions, listen, engage with who she actually is. The family factor matters too. Colombian families approve of older men more readily than young men. Older men are seen as safer bets, more likely to actually take care of their daughters, less likely to be irresponsible. Family approval matters in Colombian culture, and older men get it more easily. At number 2, Moldova. And the Moldovan preference for older men is rooted in something specific and dark. The complete failure of young Moldovan men. Moldova is the poorest country in Europe. The economic collapse after Soviet Union dissolved was catastrophic. An entire generation of young men grew up with no opportunities, no role models, no path to being successful providers. Older men are past this. They know what they want. They are ready for commitment. The result is that young Moldovan men are often unemployed or underemployed, living with parents, drinking heavily, with no prospects and no direction. They cannot fulfill traditional male role because the economy gives them no opportunity to do so. Older men, especially foreign men, but even older Moldovan men, represent a different era. They developed work ethic, skills, stability before everything collapsed. They can actually provide and protect. They can actually fulfill male role that culture still expects. Moldovan women looking at their options, See young men who are functionally useless as partners. They cannot support themselves, let alone families. They have no ambition because ambition leads nowhere. They drown their frustration in alcohol. They are bitter and angry. Then they meet an older man who is stable, employed, sober, mature. The contrast is so stark that the age gap becomes irrelevant. The older man is not just better. He is the only viable option. This is not about gold digging. This is about basic functionality as a partner. Moldovan women want husbands who can be partners, who can build families with them. Young local men cannot do this. Older men, even those with modest incomes, can. Colombian women also appreciate that older men are done playing games. The dating culture among young people in Colombia is chaotic. Lots of cheating, lots of drama, lots of instability. Older men are past this. They know what they want. They are ready for commitment. Colombian women who want stability find this incredibly attractive. The cultural respect for elders is also real in Moldova. Soviet culture emphasized respect for age and experience. Post-Soviet culture retained this even as everything else fell apart. Older men are given automatic respect that young men must earn. Moldovan women also value the emotional stability that comes with age. Young men in Moldova are frustrated, angry, depressed by their circumstances. They take this out on partners. They are emotionally volatile. Older men have perspective. They have maturity to handle difficulties without falling apart. There is genuine appreciation for what age represents: wisdom, experience, perspective, emotional regulation, all things that are in desperately short supply among young Moldovan men. And here is what makes Moldova different from other countries. The women are not naive or uneducated. Many have university degrees. Many speak multiple languages. They are choosing older men with full awareness and agency. They are making calculated decisions about what they need in partners. The age gaps are large, sometimes 30 years or more. But within Moldovan cultural context, this makes sense. The alternative is young men who cannot function as partners. The choice is obvious, coming in at number 1, Vietnam. And the Vietnamese preference for older men is rooted in Confucian values that go back thousands of years and remain incredibly powerful. Today, Confucian culture is built on hierarchy and respect for elders. This is not casual preference. This is fundamental organizing principle of society. Age determines status. Older people are automatically superior to younger people in the social hierarchy. This is not debatable. This is cosmic order. When Vietnamese women look at older men, they are seeing people who are higher in the natural hierarchy. People who deserve respect, deference, honor. This creates attraction that Westerners struggle to understand because Western culture has abandoned hierarchical thinking. Vietnamese culture teaches that men mature slowly. A man is not fully formed until his 40s or 50s. Before that, he is still developing, still learning, still becoming. Only older men have achieved full maturity and are therefore ready for the responsibilities of marriage and family. Vietnamese women grow up absorbing this framework. It shapes how they see men. Young men are incomplete. Older men are complete. The preference for completeness is genuine and deep. The respect language reinforces this constantly. Vietnamese has elaborate systems of pronouns and address forms based on age and relationship. Every conversation reinforces age hierarchy. Every interaction teaches that older equals better. This conditions attraction itself. There is also the war legacy. Vietnam experienced devastating conflict. The generation of older men survived and rebuilt. They are seen as strong, resilient, capable. Young men who did not experience hardship are seen as soft, unproven. The respect for what older men survived is genuine. Vietnamese culture values stability and wisdom above almost everything else in partners. Youth and physical attraction are nice but secondary. What matters is whether the man can lead the family with wisdom, whether he has experience to draw on, whether he is stable and proven. Older men embody these qualities by definition. They have lived long enough to prove themselves. They have weathered difficulties. They have accumulated wisdom. They are known quantities. Young men are still question marks. Vietnamese women also appreciate the emotional maturity that comes with age. Vietnamese culture values emotional control. Getting angry, being dramatic, losing composure, these are seen as immature and shameful. Older men are less likely to lose control. They have learned emotional regulation. This is very attractive. The family structure matters enormously. Vietnamese families are multi-generational, with grandparents often living with children. An older man fits naturally into this structure. He relates well to the grandparents because he is closer to their age. Young man might struggle with these family dynamics. Older man navigates them easily. Vietnamese women report that conversations with older men are profoundly better. Older men have perspective on life that young men lack. They can discuss history, politics, philosophy. They have seen things. They have wisdom to share. Young men are described as shallow in comparison. The preference is so strong that wealthy Vietnamese women with education and careers, still prefer significantly older men. This is not about money. This is about cultural values being so deeply ingrained that they override other considerations. Age gaps of 20 to 30 years are common and completely accepted in Vietnam. Nobody thinks a 55-year-old man with a 30-year-old woman is strange. The families approve. Society approves. It fits the cultural model of how things should be. And here is the crucial point. Vietnamese women are not performing this preference to get money from Western men. They prefer older Vietnamese men too. The preference exists independent of foreign men. When Western men show up, they just happen to benefit from existing cultural values. Vietnamese culture has also not been as influenced by Western feminism as some other Asian countries. Traditional values remain strong, especially outside the major cities. The preference for older men has not been challenged or weakened by modernization. The respect for older men is also tied to ancestor worship. Vietnamese culture venerates ancestors. Older people are closer to becoming ancestors themselves. They are more spiritually significant. This religious cultural framework makes age sacred, not just practical. Let me talk about why these preferences are genuine, not just economic rationalization. Preference means attraction. These women are actually attracted to older men. The gray hair, the maturity, the calm confidence, the deeper voice, the way older men carry themselves. This is real attraction, not pretending for money. Women in these cultures report physical attraction to older men. They describe finding them handsome, sexy, attractive. They are not holding their noses while pursuing wealthy men. They genuinely find the age attractive. This is foreign to Western culture where youth is everything. But it is real. Different cultures have different beauty standards. In these cultures, maturity is beautiful. Age is attractive. Experience is sexy. The psychological comfort is also genuine. Women report feeling more relaxed with older men, less judged, more accepted, more able to be themselves. This creates genuine affection and connection. The conversations are genuinely better according to these women. Older men have more to talk about, more experiences, more perspective, more wisdom. Young men are described as boring in comparison. The emotional stability creates genuine security. Knowing your partner is not going to have meltdowns or crisis every few months is genuinely comforting. The stability creates space for actual relationship growth. And here's the key point. These women have agency. They are making choices. Yes, those choices are influenced by culture and economics, but all choices are influenced by context. That does not make them less real or less valid. Western culture wants to believe these women are either victims or con artists because acknowledging genuine preference challenges Western assumptions about age, attraction, and relationship dynamics. But the evidence is overwhelming. The preference is real. The attraction is genuine. The relationships work. Women report satisfaction. Families approve, culture supports it. This is not mass delusion or exploitation. This is different cultural values producing different relationship patterns. Let me address why Western men, especially progressive Western men, struggle to accept this reality. First, it challenges the youth worship. Western culture is obsessed with youth. Accepting that other cultures find age attractive threatens this foundational belief. Second, it challenges feminist narratives. Modern feminism teaches that women who choose traditional roles or older men are victims of patriarchy. Acknowledging these women have agency and are making free choices undermines this narrative. Third, it creates cognitive dissonance. Western men benefit from these cultural preferences, but they have been taught that any relationship with power imbalance is wrong. They struggle to accept that these relationships can be both imbalanced and ethical. Fourth, it requires accepting cultural relativism, that different cultures have different valid values, that Western values are not universal. Many Western people struggle with this philosophically. Fifth, it threatens Western women. If women in other cultures genuinely prefer older men, that implies Western cultural conditioning against this preference is artificial. Western women do not want to acknowledge this. The resistance to accepting genuine preference is ideological, not factual. The evidence is clear, but evidence does not change ideology easily. For Western men, understanding genuine preference versus gold digging matters enormously. If she is genuinely attracted to your age and maturity, the relationship has foundation. If she is purely motivated by money, it collapses when circumstances change. Genuine preference means she is attracted to qualities you actually possess and will keep possessing your maturity, your wisdom, your stability. These do not disappear if your income drops slightly. Gold digging means she is attracted to your money specifically. If that changes, she leaves. There is no actual connection beyond transaction. In these 7 countries, you can find women with genuine preference for older men. This does not mean money does not matter. It means money is not the only thing that matters, or even the primary thing. Build relationships with women who appreciate your age, not despite it, who are attracted to your maturity, who value your stability, who connect with you as a person. These relationships work because both people are getting what they want. She gets mature, stable partner. You gets affectionate, devoted partner. The age gap is feature, not bug. In Georgia, Philippines, Cambodia, Thailand, Colombia, Moldova, and Vietnam, the cultural preference for older men is real and deeply rooted. Women in these countries genuinely prefer older men for reasons that go far beyond money. Age represents maturity, stability, wisdom, emotional regulation, and capability. These are genuinely attractive qualities in these cultures. The preference is not performance or rationalization. It is real attraction shaped by cultural values. For older Western men, this means genuine opportunities for relationships where your age is advantage, not liability. Where women appreciate exactly what you have to offer, where the relationship can be built on genuine mutual attraction and compatible values. Just remember to approach with honesty, respect, and genuine care. These women have agency and deserve to be treated as human beings making valid choices, not as victims or con artists. Thanks for watching.